What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So a couple guys have been asking me what are my thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU, and if you didn't know, he's coming back as Doctor Doom or some type of variant of sorts. So I was going to do a video covering my thoughts, but instead I decided let's watch the Critical Drinker's take on it, and I'm going to weigh my thoughts and opinions against his. So if you guys enjoy this video and you want to see more like this, you have any cool ideas for future videos, let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications for more. But with that said, guys, without further ado, let us jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, as proof of the unimaginable possibilities in the Marvel multi-universe, we give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
See, I thought they were going to do like Adam Driver.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
Oh, come on, you all knew this was gonna happen sooner or later. When your franchise is on the ropes, all your new characters, movies and TV shows have failed, and you're all out of ideas on how to fix it, there's really only one thing left. The nuclear option. Bring back the most popular actors, writers and directors of yesteryear with the promise of massive paychecks in the hopes that it'll turn back time and revive the glory days. And so it was at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, the annual nerd event where Marvel are given the increasingly daunting task of drumming up some kind of enthusiasm from their wavering fan base by announcing another slew of boring, derivative, cash grab spin-offs of stuff that's already been done far better. Tell me, are you excited for Discount Iron Man or Discount Captain America that's had the GDP of a small South African country spent on it? Or a Blade movie that's been in development longer than most of us have been alive? Or Agatha Harkness, We Can't Stick with a Title for More Than 2 weeks? Anyway, I digress. The point here is that Marvel finally achieved their attention-grabbing objective when Robert Downey Jr. was paraded out on stage in full Doctor Doom outfit to make the announcement that he'd be returning to the MCU to play one of Marvel's most iconic villains in the next 2 Avengers movies. Because let's be honest, I don't think we're going to be seeing much of Kang from now on. You know, it's funny because we joked many times on Open Bar that we'd know for sure when Marvel had reached creative bedrock if they brought Robert Downey Jr. back as Tony Stark. And well, here we are, halfway there already. I say halfway because there's actually a storyline from the comics called Infamous Iron Man where Doctor Doom took up the suit after Tony Stark fell into a coma. I wonder if they might be building up to something like that here. I wonder if this whole thing was just a roundabout way of getting RDJ back into that good old Iron Man suit without admitting that they straight up retconned him back to life. And I can pretty much see how it's all going to play out. It's probably going to be a variation of that storyline. It's probably going to involve multiverses because after 5 years of failure, Marvel are still clinging to the idea that they can make that concept work. And for all I know, it's probably going to involve an alternate Tony Stark facing off against Doctor Doom so that we can get twice the Robert Downey Jr. action. And we might as well throw in an alternate Thanos too, because why the hell not, right? He was popular as well. The thing is, you're probably watching this video right now and thinking, Drinker, you wisecracking genius billionaire playboy philanthropist, how can you be so cynical about something so cool and unexpected? Easily, because I know exactly why this is happening. There's a reason Marvel parted company with most of the original Avengers after Endgame, and it had nothing to do with creativity and artistic integrity. Instead, it had absolutely everything to do with money. The more you bring back actors to play the same role, the more expensive they become over the years. They're getting older and less interested in doing effects-heavy action scenes. They're worried about typecasting and wasting their prime years by spinning their wheels. They start getting bored and they want to take on new roles, and their agents start demanding more and more money for doing less work. All of this leads to a pretty dangerous combination. I don't know what it cost to have RDJ, Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth and the rest of the gang together one last time for Endgame, but I'm willing to bet that it was a very significant chunk of the budget. Cutting out these aging and expensive actors and bringing together a younger, newer and cheaper cast for the next big event movie made perfect sense from a business point of view. The only problem is that nobody liked what they tried to replace them with. which is why so many post-Endgame projects absolutely flopped, and why there was very little interest in the next Avengers movie. They'd failed to set up any compelling characters or storylines to feed into it. The thing is, the whole point of Avengers films is that they act like a giant sandbox where all your favourite toys from different places can come crashing together in wild and wacky ways. It's fun because you get to watch characters that have never interacted with each other before trading quips and matching their skills and wits against each other. You get to see the culmination of big storylines and character arcs that you've been following for years. But like I say, it all hinges on the build-up, and if there's one thing that phases 4 and 5 of the MCU have failed spectacularly at, it's creating any kind of build-up for the next Avengers movie. Fuck me, the narrative is so fragmented and littered with the corpses of aborted ideas at this point that I'd struggle to even tell you what the main storyline is.
Yeah, so they definitely tried to make things work, and it just hasn't really figured it out. I mean, what it feels like, phase 1, 2, and 3, they had like their own things going on, but ultimately they all built to one point. It kind of feels like phase 4, especially phase 4, but phase 5 is like it too, but it feels like there's no build up to anything. It kind of just feels like there's a bunch of random stories just happening, and maybe that was kind of the point of phase 4 and 5, was to do that, and then phase 6 would start kind of bringing everything together, but I just don't think it's working. And I think obviously Marvel fans are kind of done. For me, I was actually pretty apathetic towards the MCU for a while now. I still watch their movies occasionally, you know, like I don't think the Marvels was as bad as people say it was, but it's one of those things where it's like, it was kind of just okay. Like, it's a fun streaming flick, but I wouldn't see it in theaters, you know, and that's the issue with the MCU right now. They're not making movies that are movies I need to go see in the theater. They're movies that I can wait for Disney Plus for, and that's not good. Except for, of course, the new Deadpool and Wolverine. That was amazing, and maybe more stuff like that. I know not everything has to be like R-rated or like extra raunchy like those movies, but something like that would probably be fine.
Now don't get me wrong, it's not been all bad news for Marvel lately. Deadpool and Wolverine is shaping up to be the kind of big, crowd-pleasing summer movie that they desperately need at this point. But just like Guardians 3, they can't really exploit it because it was more of a swan song to a different era than the dawn of a new one. Something tells me you won't be seeing Deadpool as the centerpiece of a new Avengers team anytime soon. Captain America 4 has been blighted by a nightmarish production, endless reshoots, and a budget so ridiculously huge that the film has got almost no chance of breaking even, never mind making a profit. Meanwhile, everyone's geared up to roundly ignore Agatha Harkness in droves. All of this is to say that bringing Robert Downey Jr. back into the MCU feels like...
I will say this. I will say that I think Captain America, the new Captain America 4, I think that's going to surprise me. Like, right now, it looks alright. You know, Anthony Mackie isn't exactly Chris Evans, and they even said it in the trailer, hey, like, I know I'm not, you know, Cap, I'm not Steve Rogers, and I'm really hoping that he can take this character, and I hope instead of him being more of like a the previous films kind of had him as more of like a comedic relief, kind of like the joking sidekick. I hope he's able to actually transition into more of a stoic leader, and what I'm really hoping is that A Brave New World, I think that's what it's called. That's an awful title. I hate that title so bad. I hope that movie surprises me. I hope we get something like a Thor Ragnarok in a sense, not necessarily the premise, but the idea of like, remember how like Thor 1 and 2 were just like fine, and then Thor 3 came out and it was like, whoa, what is this? This is a completely different thing, and it's good, it's new, it's fresh. I'm hoping we get something like that. So if we can get something more like a Ragnarok, something that I'm going in not expecting much and just being blown away, compared to Love and Thunder, where I walked in expecting a lot and I just got like completely crapped upon, I'll be happy, but we'll see.
Move born out of necessity rather than desire. A desperate decision by a company that knows its franchise is in trouble, and the only way forward now is to look backwards to more successful times. I mean, maybe the simple fact that they're actually aware of the problem now and doing something to address it is some kind of progress. It's a public admission that what they've been doing recently isn't working, and a change of course is desperately needed. Up until the Marvels landed on us, it was still possible for them to stick their fingers in their ears, ignore the growing fan criticisms, and blame their decline in box office returns on other factors. But after that calamity, there was just no hiding it anymore. Something had to give. And you know what? I hope it works out for them. I really do. Because any studio that recognizes their mistakes and makes a genuine effort to fix them deserves some kind of recognition for it. But let's be real here, there's a big difference between bringing back one popular actor for some quick and easy fan service and making a sincere attempt to put right the many problems they've created for themselves. Only time will tell if this is the former or the latter. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yeah, so for me, for those of you guys who've been watching me for years, I know there's a few of you guys left. I take breaks and I come back, take breaks, come back. I lose people, and then some people come back and I lose people, and then it happens. But if you've been watching me for years, you know like the two big things I always did my videos on, specifically Star Wars, obviously, but Marvel. It was those two. I did other stuff, obviously, but those were the two big things I did my videos on in the past, and even now, that's pretty much the majority of my stuff. It would be so awesome to not feel apathetic towards the MCU and towards Star Wars. I always say that what's worse than thinking something is good or bad is just not caring about it, you know, because at least you gave it a shot. And I just don't care about Star Wars anymore. I don't care about Marvel. I will say, like I said, Deadpool and Wolverine did kind of give a nice little shot in the arm, kind of got the blood pumping a little more towards MCU. I am a little more excited for it now. But when it comes down to it, it's the people in charge. They just don't know what they're doing. And they don't want to put people who do know what they're doing in charge because it's like not woke enough or something. I don't know. I'm sure someone on here on the internet will go deeper into that whole narrative. I'm not going to do that today in this video. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think RDJ returning is ultimately just kind of like the MCU pulling the eject on what they've been trying to do. What they were doing wasn't working, and now they're trying to fix it with bringing him in and kind of him representing like a new pathway they're going to be taking. I don't know. I do think that RDJ could be pretty good if done right. I really like the idea of like a bad variant or something like that. A big argument I would always say was that like Tony was always kind of on the cusp to turning to the bad anyways. I wouldn't say he's turning to the bad, but he's going to be turning to the reasonable. And what I mean by that is like, if Tony comes across a threat that he couldn't beat, I could see him joining that threat, you know, and maybe that's what happened with this variant. Maybe once that this variant beat Thanos and survived, maybe Galactus found him, and he was like, I can't win, so I'm going to join you in order to save my people or something like that. Something along those lines, and maybe he gets corrupted by some magic or whatever. We'll see. I think it can be done well. The Russo brothers and RDJ coming back is definitely a Marvel trying to save itself situation, but it could be done well, and I hope it does, especially when it comes down to getting Secret Wars and finally being able to see Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman standing side by side fighting enemies together. I've been waiting for that moment for almost 20 years now. 25 years? Wow, has it really been that long? Oh my gosh, it is almost 25 years. I don't know. I've been waiting that long. Let's see it. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think it is definitely a good choice? Do you think it's a bad choice? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe for more videos. If you have any cool ideas for future videos you want to see me react to and do a review on, let me know in the comments. And if I use your suggestion, I'll give you a shout out in that video. But thanks again for watching, guys. And I'll catch you next one. Peace.